Frank. What's the weirdest thing you've ever saw in here?
Let me ask you a question, kid. Did you see that movie, Night of the Living Dead?
Hey, we gonna party tonight or what?
Yeah, we are gonna party.
Well, where are we gonna party?
I don't know, somewhere.
Hey, we could go to the park.
Oh, no, we can't. The cops said they'd shoot us if we go back to the park.
Yeah, and I ain't in no mood to go tonight.
I like death.
Greetings, ghouls, and welcome to Minute 82 of Do You Want to Party, the Movies by Minute podcast for the 1985 groundbreaking horror classic, The Return of the Living Dead. I'm your host, Troy, and on this New Year's Eve 2025 episode, we are being joined by my longtime podcast collaborator.
Hey, Trevor Brown here.
Hey, Trevor Brown. It has been a while since you've been on the show. Between us juggling careers and home life and whatnot, it's been a little, so I appreciate, a whole lot of fame. I appreciate you helping me out this festive time of the year. A little sneak behind the program. We were at the beginning of December that we were recording this for something that's happened at the end. 'Tis the season, so yes. All right, so this particular minute is going to start with the rabies and ends with hushing Casey while dialing another number. So Bert's pinky ring bling on full display as he leans forward, elbow planted on top of one of the half-dozen army tanks in the basement of his business. You need a medical warehouse. He's currently on a rotary phone calling to a nearby police blockade as he desperately tries to get access to get across the severity of the situation, with what he hopes is a simple yet colorful enough telling of what's going on. His voice becoming louder, his posture more animated, as he continues to talk.
Mad, and it'll kill you and eat you if they catch you. It's like a disease. It's like rabies, only faster. It's a lot faster. That's why you got to come in here right now and get us the hell out of here right now. Please.
On the other end of the phone is the TAC squad captain. His outfit slick with rain as he holds the receiver in one ear and cups his hand over the other. He excuses himself and comments about the sudden loud ruckus rising around him.
Just a minute, I can't hear you. There's a lot of noise out here. Hey, what the hell's going on?
He pulls himself away from the phone to address what's going on. The blockade of cars and officers sees figures head towards them. Some also asking as to the situation. Others calling out the approaching bodies to stop. With a secondary warning, the riot-helmeted officers, yellow jackets slick with rain, bring their firearms to the ready, shotguns and revolvers. The forward-moving group of bodies is now joined by a second wave approaching from the side, both being funneled right towards the police line of vehicles, wooden posts, and men. A last warning is shouted loudly to the which is quickly followed by several gunshots of varying types.
I said, Paul, what you see is crazy!
Yet the two walls continue. Sparks of discharge flash out of the barrels of weapons, the sound mixing with moans and cries of the wave of bodies. Within seconds, the reanimated bodies converge upon the officers, the damage of the guns going unacknowledged. The first of what will be plenty of officers is tackled to the ground, taking down one of the yellow with black angled lines wooden posts, revealing a brief glimpse of a familiar pale-skinned, red-haired, leg-warmer-clad nude female form. Next of the police car, a shotgun-wielding officer is no match for almost half a dozen creatures that set upon him. Another gets off a random shot, but curses loudly as he's also overrun and slammed upon the hood of a vehicle by four assailants. One officer fights off a singular corpse that is choking him. Thankfully, he gets assistance from a fellow officer who puts the attacker in a chokehold, yanking on him to force him to release his work associate. The intentions are good until the arm performing the hold removes the entire head clear off its shoulders. And yet the attacking hands continue to squeeze. Dodging fallen objects and personnel, reanimated Trash drives herself forward as the officers behind her get swarmed by her clan of dead. Having taken a defensive posture with his own gun drawn, the TAC squad captain falls upon the fate of those under his command. He screams loudly as two larger creatures claw at him. While he struggles to break free, his end comes when the snake-like jaw of Trash opens beyond its limits, upper teeth sinking into the captain's scalp as like a ripe apple. The four bodies drop downward below the open window of the vehicle. Meanwhile, back in the basement of the Unita warehouse, Bert's face looks defeated as the sound of the carnage plays out in his ear through the receiver. He drops his head and pulls away the phone. A very worried question comes from Casey.
What?
When Spider also asks,
What is it?
With his head still dropped, he turns the phone towards the youths behind them, each with a different look of concern on their faces. Casey leans forward to hear the sound. But dejectedly, Bert confirms the result of the attempted barricade.
The cops, they got the cops. That means they're breaking out of the barricade. Jesus Christ.
Bert has a light bulb moment. A quick glance at the stencil on the tank. Property Department of the Army. In case of emergency, call 1-800-454-8000. He cancels the current call, and he begins quickly dialing. Still tightly clutching the hammer in both hands, Casey turns to Spider beside her and inquires quietly as to Bert's actions. He quickly suddens her by holding up his hand in a stopping motion, and as Bert continues to dial, Casey blatantly addresses Bert.
What are you doing?
Who hushes her, and that's where we end this minute. All right, so there we go. We got a little bit of action. We had a bit of a slowdown. We're getting to the point in the movie where we got a minute of action, a minute of slowdown, a minute of action, a minute of slowdown. We're in those final, like I said, I think in the previous minute, we're in those final bumps of the roller coaster as it comes into the station and all that sort of thing.
Mhm.
So while we had a lot of action going on, there was a lot to describe and all that sort of thing, but it goes by in like a blink of an eye. Pretty much the action of as soon as the guns start firing and Trash takes down the captain and all that sort of thing, we're talking maybe 7 seconds of actual footage and all that sort of thing. So it's a lot to happen in a short amount of time.
It is. What I found kind of funny was the when you first see the cops raising their weapons to start firing at the crowd running towards them. It's very easily you hear it's like canned pistol shots, even though there's a guy there with a shotgun who fires it off. It's just pistol shot, like almost like an echo chamber. Like it just, whoever the sound guy was like, all I have is pistols. I'm just going to layer pistols in. Pistols. Later on, they do a shotgun sound. It's like he finally found that sound effect. But by that point, he's like, I'm not going back.
Exactly.
And when you count the officers, there's like at least a dozen. But when you listen to the gunshots, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like everyone's waiting their turn.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Like, I'm going to take my turn. Now it's Lewis's turn. Now Frank gets to fire. William, you're next. Hey, Frank, no 2 shots. Wait your turn.
Exactly. Yeah, they do actually. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, they do layer. They do. Yeah, the sound effects don't overlap each other. There's a shot at a time and all that sort of thing. Yeah, so that is true. That is true.
It's like playing like a turn-based strategy game. Everyone gets their one turn, and then they get to wait.
You have to roll your initiative for who goes first.
Exactly. Sort of Frank uses pistol shot. It's super ineffective. William uses pistol shot. It's mildly effective. Bill uses shotgun. Uh-oh. It came out as a pistol shot. It's not effective at all.
So the other thing we have in this is the number stenciled on the side of the tank. Now, throughout the years, you go into a dive of the internet and all sort of thing to figure out what it is. What it was when it originally came out, I cannot find the information. Like when you first called it back in 1985, I couldn't find in the dive that I did into the internet to find what it is. I did find a couple of other posts throughout the years and all that sort of thing. I think the two of the most recent ones that uh, basically came forth and all that sort of thing were in January 20th in 2007. Someone had reported on Twitter that it was a sex hotline, which would make sense. It would have been near the end of the era of the 1-800 sex call and all that sort of thing, lines and all that. But as of, I think the other one, which was July 3rd of 2024, someone had reported on Threads that it is a media alert hotline, so a live medical alert sort of thing. That if you are of that, you basically call it. It asks, "Hey, if you're 50 or older, hit one. If you're 50 or under, hit two," and that's basically all they went through and all that sort of thing.
Well,
So yeah, I also called it too. So what I did is I called it and I got
The service you requested is unavailable from your calling area. SBN 98. Please hang up now. Please hang up now. Please hang up now.
because I am in Canada right now. So obviously, whatever services are available in the US. So that's why I had Trevor also, because Trevor is of American citizen and all that sort of thing. So I actually added him.
So I called, and it is a subscription medical alert service.
Right.
And basically, what they wanted me to do was to sign up. And then I would receive my medical alert package, and then it would connect to my local 911 services in my area, so that if I needed help, I could like press the button and they would send emergency service over. So it's now a sign up service that you would call, and they are located in just north of Tulsa, Oklahoma.
There you go. All right. Well, that's good to know. I mean, that's probably the most like in-depth information that I have from this third thing after doing the dive that I did and all that sort of thing. I also want to point out because again, part of the program is introducing the actors in their memoriam because we are introduced to Bob Liebman, who plays TAC squad captain and all that sort of thing. While his IMDb isn't very long, I don't believe I have much more information on the fact that he actually only acted in 3 movies. First of which was The Return of the Living Dead, followed up by the Weekend Warriors from 1986, where he played aircraft commander. And then the movie from 1995 called Glory Days with a Z, where he plays Chancellor Bob. So
at least he has a name this time.
Yeah, exactly. To go with his actual name of Robert. So yeah.
I want to say though, the mask that for Trash, like the jaw,
yep.
If you still frame it and do step by step, that is an amazing looking mask.
Yeah, that
unsettling.
That was actually created by William Stout. Actually, we talk about it in the upcoming commentary track and all that sort of thing. But yeah, that was a William Stout creation and all that sort of thing. The extended jaw and all that. And if you actually do look, if you pause it at the right moment when she's about to bite onto the captain's head, you can actually see in the very center of that extended white jaw, you see a red bulb coming in the middle of it, which is actually Linnea's actual chin herself.
Yeah. I actually have that frame up on my computer right now, and it's just like
exactly. Yeah,
it happens so fast you wouldn't see it, but yeah, it's
also
looking extension.
But also earlier in the commentary track, Dan O'Bannon had pointed out that they had to keep reminding Linnea to bite with her chin forward because she was misplacing where the bite would actually go, and because of this throwing off the center of gravity, where you would think like you open your mouth, you know where you're going to bite into, but if you have this extra large sort of proportion in front of you, it's going to be a little more difficult to pull off properly. All right, so speaking of which, let's go to the over on the commentary track, which again, with writer and director Dan O'Bannon and with the production designer William Stout. So Dan O'Bannon continues about having to have chosen directing over acting in this instead of also trying to act in this role. Basically in the previous minute, he had pointed out that he sometimes had gotten mistaken for the actor that portrayed the captain of the tax squad. William Stout then points out how he actually did do the voice of the helicopter pilot, which, again, Dan O'Bannon provides that for. Once the zombies come out of the fog, Dan O'Bannon points out the value of the effect, how it moves behind and silhouettes the creatures, how it's not hard and you can get a good dramatic value out of it. We then have William Stout points out Linnea with my mask. Dan O'Bannon mentions that this happens, and then then Dan O'Bannon mentions that's what happens when the LAPD chokehold is applied. Then Dan O'Bannon points out Bert's finally calling the army. So that's we get more of like, as I realized, we're getting more of these guys just watching the movie and commenting on what they're seeing instead of actually giving us more information of what's actually happening. I mean, it's Dan O'Bannon just sitting there enjoying Dan O'Bannon's stuff, because that's what Dan O'Bannon is best at doing, admiring his stuff. All right, so we got, according to the script, we're going to be dealing with the story and screenplay by Dan O'Bannon, and this is a revision from October of 1983. And this is based on a story and screenplay by John Russo, Rudy Rickey, and Russell Steiner. Interior, basement of warehouse, night rain. Bert, well, it's rabies. If you don't get bit, you're okay. Cut to. Exterior, police barricade, night rain. TAC squad captain. Rabies, huh? Shouts, hey, Mike, we got a guy here that says it's rabies. Get the medical examiner's office down here in one hell of a hurry. Back to the phone. Okay, just sit tight. We're going to send somebody in to get you out. First of all, we need to know exactly where you're at. Picks up a pencil. Cut to interior basement of warehouse, night rain. Bert, we're in the Unita Medical Supply Warehouse at 21706 East Central. Do you know where that is? Cut to exterior police barricade, night rain. The tax squad captain has his free fingers stuck in his free ear, trying to shut out the distracting noises. Tax squad captain into the phone to Bert. Hold on, just a second. I can't hear you. There's such a noise going around here. There's a shouting in the background. The tax squad captain turns to see what it is. Tax squad captain calls out, hey, what's going on? A shotgun-toting cop, manning the line, yells to him. Riot cop number 1, somebody's coming! Another angle. Out of the darkness trots a bunch of corpses. One of them is Dee Dee. Riot cop number 2. All right, hold it right there. The corpses don't hold it. They head right for him. Riot cop number 3. Watch it, Steve! It's rabies! Riot cop number 2. I said halt! He fires. Boom. The corpses are on him before he knows it. One of them pulls off his riot helmet. Another starts choking him. The next cop runs over and grabs the corpse around the neck, trying to use a chokehold on it. The head comes off in his arms, leaving the body still choking riot cop number 2. Pandemonium. Gunshots. The tax squad captain is staring aghast, phone in hand. Not knowing what to do, he draws his gun. Suddenly, the corpse lunges into frame and grabs the tax squad captain. Cut to interior, basement of warehouse, night, rain slacking off. Bert stands with the phone in his ear, listening to the horrible screams of the dying policeman. Bert, hello? Hello? Casey, what? Meat, what is it? He holds the phone out, so Casey, Chuck, and Meat can hear the tiny shrieks coming from the earpiece. Their faces show their feelings clearly. Bert sags against the wall, letting the phone drop to his side. Bert, the cops. They got the cops. That means they're breaking out of the police barricade. In desperation, Bert's eyes light on the nearest tank. Stenciled on the side is, in case of emergency, call 1-800-454-8000. Bert slams the phone down, and then he lifts the receiver again and starts dialing. Reading off the tank. Casey to Meat and Chuck. What is he doing? Bert, silencing her. Shh. That's where he catch up with the actual minute.
It's interesting how much they cut out of the dialogue to just keep things moving. Because I think if they had filmed everything as written, that whole sequence would have dragged so slowly. But what's interesting is So the action sequence with the cops standing around and then the living dead just crashing through them. Initially, it starts off very, very high energy, like crashing through the wooden barriers, surrounding the cops and all that sort of stuff. But what's funny, even with the chokehold and ripping the head off, which was, nice little lighthearted moment. You're like, well, that's not going to stop them. But what's funny is when Miss Quigley daintily runs around.
Yep.
It's so out of character. You think if they're the living dead, they no longer care about being injured. She would have just crashed right over top of whatever person was there. But instead, just a very dainty sidestepping around and keep running. And it's part of it is, you're doing the take. She got there. It works. Let's go. I think with today making that the same movie, you would say, no, I want you to just haul ass, don't care what's in front of you, just get over top of it, like step on the person's stomach as you run through, sort of thing. Yeah. But it kind of adds to the charm of the film by having that little dainty moment.
To have tiny little Linnea Quigley doing that little dance step and all that sort of thing. She does daintily move through it. You've also got to take into consideration, while she is obviously dead and the pain of whatever does not, the actress herself is still barefoot in this sequence. Yeah. She is running on asphalt, wet asphalt, and all that sort of thing. So there's another reason why she's also got her arms up to keep herself balanced and all that sort of thing. If you watch it, and she, again, it makes her look like she's running very daintily and all that sort of thing. But it is definitely due to the fact that she's trying to keep from falling out.
To do that same shot today, what you'd probably do is, if it wasn't a stunt person, if it was the actors actually doing it, they would be supplied with like sock shoes, painted to look like, so they could still be running and not, chance of hurting their feet, or there'd be grips underneath and stuff like that.
And there's no reason for her still to be shoeless in this sequence. I mean, you don't need to shoot her feet. You don't see her feet in this actual shot. And
it's
all
not
that sort of thing.
Film.
You could have, exactly. You don't need to see the feet. Exactly. But again, you show the leggings and then what she looks like. She's barefoot to begin with, so you can get past that point and all that sort of thing. Give the girl some, but I think it makes the character stand out even more. The fact that not only that she's this pure white with shocking red hair still, making her way through this crowd the way that she does. It's just a very
making her way downtown.
Exactly.
But what I do like is, I like the change to the end of the sequence when he's listening to the carnage and he's turning it to the others. And he, instead of in the script where he does this whole thing and then he slams the phone down and picks it up and mumbles the numbers, I think it's more telling of him just kind of like slumping and just hitting the receiver and just starts dialing. He doesn't have, he's no longer listening to the rest of the crew. He finally has a path forward. He's, the police did not pan out like he hoped, and now he's got a route forward and he's going for it. He's just he's no longer relying on committee for decisions.
I think it's Clu Gallagher's decision to take his character in the direction that he wants him to go. Like in the previous minute, actually, there was the conversation between Bert and the captain, the TAC officer, captain, is a little different in the script than what we have in the final part. And there's one actual line that reads differently in the script than what Clu Gallagher says. And the way that Clu Gallagher delivers the line is definitely I don't want to say it this way. I want to say it this way. And so he basically, I don't want to say what the words say. I want to do it my own way. And it obviously comes across as definitely a Clu Gallagher sounding line. And I'm pretty sure, like you just said, Bert in the script is really pissed off, hangs up, slams the phone down, which he doesn't need to do and all that sort of thing. And then decides to, but obviously he's like, oh wait, you can hear, because you don't actually see it, you hear him pushing down from the decade that we have lived through. We know that sound of a finger pushing down on the receiver and all that sort of thing and releasing it.
This generation would hear that beep.
Exactly. Yeah.
The other thing is if you're in a crisis situation, do you really have to ask the police, oh, I'm here, do you know where that is? You assume they know where that is. You're like,
you would hope so,
where everything is.
Yeah, exactly.
It's such a frivolous line. I can see why they just cut it. You don't have to ask the cops if you know where you are.
Exactly. So that's going to bring us to the work print comparison, which is basically where you film your entire movie and then you compile it into one final version, and then you edit out bits and pieces that you don't really need and all that sort of thing to bring the movie down to its final version. For example, we are dealing with minute 81 to 82 of the final movie, whereas in the work print, we are dealing with minute 156 seconds going to 102 minutes and 14 seconds. So as you can see, there's quite a bit more and all that sort of thing. And it all basically comes into a lot of the conversation that happens in the script between the two characters is actually shot. So what you just said about them, they actually did shoot it, but they actually edited it out and all that sort of thing. So the actual line from the script about the rabies is there. And then we see an extended shot of the two groups of the zombies heading towards the police line. So that's like one full shot and all that sort of thing. It's not interspliced and all that sort of thing. But what isn't in the work print is all the carnage. They don't shoot the gag of the head being removed. They don't show the two separate officers being taken down by a couple of zombies and all that sort of thing. They do show one officer being pinned to the ground with another zombie on top of him, like lunging onto him and all that sort of thing. But the Linnea Quigley trash running through the group is there, but the TAC officer being actually taken down is missing, which is obviously a insert shot that they go to later. So and that's about the only difference and all that sort of thing between the two, because again, the rest plays out as it does in the film, especially in the basement.
Well, that is, I mean, that's the standard setup and payoff. If
Yeah.
you set up the TAC officer and all his men being taken down, you want to see the TAC officer being taken down as
Exactly,
well.
exactly.
Otherwise, it's always like, well, did he get away? Is he at another command post doing? So yeah, it's like the whole the gun in the drawer with the detective. If you're going to show that, then if you're going to show the setup, show the payoff. Because if I was in the audience seeing the TAC officer saying rabies, and then you see everyone attack, but you don't see him get taken down, you're like, oh, come on.
Yeah, exactly. It also looks like it was done at definitely a different time as well, because when we see Linnea Quigley coming through that, she is wearing the pronounced cheekbone and brow makeup, which is just basically the skull-esque looking thing. And then when she shows up in the foreground taking down the TAC officers, she's got that extended jaw and all that sort of thing. So you're obviously not going to shoot those at the same time, because just doing the makeup alone is going to take forever between the two.
Also, the level of rain.
Yes.
In the long shot, it's not raining that hard, but in the close-up, when he's getting taken out, it's like a monsoon.
Well, I think it's also because because they had a rain machine that did all this rain. It's not actual rain, it's a rain machine. So for the fog rolling in the background and all that sort of thing, there is no rain at that point and all that sort of thing. When you get down to where the offices are, then all of a sudden it's raining and all that. But when you see the officers and all that sort of thing, they're basically just wet, but you don't see any rain because
I mean, I was watching puddles on the ground. There's some little bit of pattering in the puddles, but then when you cut to the close-up shot of the TAC officer it's raining hard. It's coming down.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, just crank it up. We have a localized area. Just crank it up.
Exactly. All right. So that being said, that's going to bring us to the end of this particular minute of this podcast. Is there anything else you want to add for this particular minute there, sir?
I'm good.
Excellent. Excellent. It's something that I've been asking, well, not asking, but talking to my guest hosts and all that sort of thing over the past few episodes. I want to thank you, Trevor, for joining me on this program. I really enjoy your insight and all that sort of thing. You're always entertaining to speak with. And of course, we have a long history of knowing each other for decades beyond what we've talked about on this podcast. But again, I want to thank you for the time that you've been able to devote. Even though it hasn't been very much, I've always enjoyed having you on because of, again, our history and whatnot, but your insight into not only this movie itself, but your view of watching movies and all that sort of thing is always something that I've always enjoyed having around. And that's another reason why we became friends when we did, because of our love of movies and whatnot. So thank you for what time you have devoted to this podcast. And hopefully I can call upon you for future projects.
If I'm available, I'm happy to join in.
Excellent, excellent. Again, audience, we're almost there, people. We're coming down to the last 9 episodes. It's going to be a little bit of here and there, sort of over the next little while. Again, this is our New Year's Eve episode. So goodbye, 2025. Hello, 2026 and future projects and all that sort of thing. But I thank you, audience, for joining me along this long train ride, roller coaster ride. I keep going back and forth between train and roller coaster. I realize after editing, I'm like, oh, is it a train ride or a roller coaster? That's a little bit of both. They're on tracks. They're both on tracks. We haven't quite gone off the tracks yet, so that's a good thing. So one last time, thank you, Trevor. Thank you, audience. I have nothing else to say, but see you next Wednesday.
You've just been listening to a Planet Geek production of Do You Want to Party? A Movies by Minute podcast of the 1985 The Return of the Living Dead. Please be sure to subscribe, download, comment, share, rate, and review. Be sure to follow us on our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Tumblr, or Letterboxd. Search for Planet Geek Productions. X, former Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky, search for Planet Geek Pod. Or send us an email to planetgeekpod@gmail.com. Our closing music is provided by Night Chill. See the show notes for more details. Once again, thanks for tuning in, and farewell, fiends.
Oh, wait, forgot my backup. My backup, because my microphone sometimes gives out on me because I got to get a new. The jack came a little wonky on me, so every once in a while my microphone cuts out, and they'll go like, "You suddenly went quiet there for a little while, Troy," and then I find out later when I'm doing the edit, I'm like, "Fuck, my audio cut out." So I just record a secondary audio off my phone, which has thankfully saved my keister a couple of times, but it's only like usually one or two words that comes off, and to like raise it digitally, it kind of sucks and all that sort of thing. All right, so am I recording? Yes, I am recording. There we go. Here we go. The first of what will be I don't know why I wrote that word. The first of what will be. Oh, yes. I've missed that. The word is right. The word after it is missing. The first of what will be plenty of officers is tackled to the ground. The word of was missing. So when I read the first of what would be plenty of, when it just says plenty officers. Oh, that's what I did. I started writing of officers in one word. So, wow. You know, I think I'd get used to this sort of thing. Friggin' 80 some odd episodes into the stupid show. All right, let's try this line from the beginning. The first of what will be. What? The first of what will be. Yeah, there we go. Take 3. I just lost where I was, and I'm also on first line. Take continuous acting. Basically, where you film your entire movie, and then you bring together all the footage that you've shot. You compile. Wow, I couldn't come up with the word compile. All right, so that is that. Thank you for that, man. That was great. Again, like what I just said, your insight is fantastic. I love how you can bring like the devotion to the single minute and all that sort of thing. Well, you could have opened that earlier. You could have popped that open. I can edit. I've gotten really good at it.
Water. Okay. Staying hydrated.
Exactly. If that's all that you can do right now. What is that? What is that black?
Pepsi
oh, get that shit out of my. I gotta edit that out. Oh my god, it suddenly censored itself on my screen.